So let's say that for whatever reason you've decided not to get the COVID-19 vaccination, and you get told by your employer that if you want to keep working, you have to get the COVID-19 vaccination. Let's suppose you get it because your employer said you had to get it in order to keep your job. And let's also imagine you are one of the few, the minority, who have really serious side effects. Are you covered under workers' compensation? That's what we're going to dive into. Hi, my name is Kaplan Morrell. I'm an attorney at law here in Colorado. I've been helping injured and disabled workers in Colorado since 1995 get the benefits that they deserve. And if you are an injured worker in Colorado and you would like advice, please call us for a free consultation. We'd be happy to help you. Today, we're talking about what are some of the rights that you may have if you are mandated by your employer to get the vaccine and you are one of the unfortunate minority who have serious side effects due to the vaccination. Are those side effects and are your medical needs and, God forbid, disability, etc., are they covered under workers' compensation? Well, let's talk about it and let's dive into it right now. Okay, so workers' compensation is an insurance program in the state of Colorado. Every state has one, which covers illness, injuries, and medical needs for workers who are injured or suffer disease as a result of their employment. And so the first question would be, did you become sick and are you experiencing these health issues because of the vaccine and the vaccine was mandated? So if you went and got the vaccine on your own, which many of us have done, and you suffer those health effects, chances are that's not going to be covered under workers' compensation. On the other hand, if you're one of the folks who have decided for whatever reason, not going to debate or get into any judgments, not to get the vaccine, and now you're being told by your employer, hey, we've decided as a personal organization that we're going to require our employees to have the vaccination, or maybe because the Biden administration has created a emergency rule through OSHA requiring employers who have more than 100 employees to mandate that their employees get vaccinated. And now you have to get it. And if you get it and you have serious side effects of it, is that covered under workers' compensation? And my answer would be absolutely. Yes, it is, because it's something that the employer mandated that you get put inside your body as a requirement to continue employment. Then the question is, okay, what are your benefits if you suffer side effects? So it obviously depends on how serious the side effects. Most people that have side effects from the vaccination, they feel out of commission for a day or two, and then they're back up on their feet. And if that's the case, then workers' compensation is not going to kick in to any appreciable degree because, first of all, workers' compensation doesn't cover wage loss unless you've been off the job for more than 3 days, okay? But what happens if you get really serious, permanent kind of side effects, heart issues come to mind, etc.? Are you covered under workers' compensation? And the answer would be, I believe you would be, okay? But there'd be some challenges to it. Okay, so number one is you'd have to prove that you got the vaccine because it was mandated, okay, or it was required by your employer. Number two is you'd have to prove that the side effects, the complications you are suffering are due from the vaccine and not due to some personal health issue. And that may be the area where it gets most complicated and frankly expensive to demonstrate, because the insurance company will no doubt try to find a doctor who will say, oh no, you would have had these heart issues anyway, or these issues were pre-existing and they weren't caused by it, etc. However, I want you to understand two things. Number one is there's something called the eggshell plaintiff concept, or the thought that you take your victim as you find him or her. And that means that if you are a worker on the job and you get injured and you are more injured because you've got a vulnerabilities or weaknesses. It's an eggshell. Normally, if we bumped into you, no problem. Because you're an eggshell, you crack where other people wouldn't. Is that covered? And the answer is yes. Okay. Number two is if you have a pre-existing condition and something at work happens to aggravate or accelerate it, it's still covered. But often doctors and insurance companies don't like to recognize that, or they don't know it. Okay. So you might have some proof issues. You might need to get a medical doctor to say, yes, but for having the vaccine, you wouldn't have developed these things. And then the question is again, how serious is it? Because if, again, we're only talking about a couple of days, if we're only talking about something that resolves after a week or two of some minor treatment, may not be worth pursuing it under workers' compensation. But if, God forbid, you're one of the minority of folks who get the vaccination that suffer serious, debilitating side effects from the vaccine because you had to get it because of an employer mandate, then you are covered under workers' compensation. I hope that you understand that work injuries can be very complicated, very detail-oriented, and for that reason, if you or someone you know has been injured on the job in Colorado, let them know to contact us here at Kaplan Morrell. We've been helping injured and disabled workers since 1995. We would love to help you. You can call or text us at 970-356-9898. You can go to our website, www.kaplanmorrell.com. And with that, thank you for spending part of your day with me, and have a safe time out there. Bye.